What's up everyone, welcome to this guide for the Saitama patch in MapleStory. I'm super excited to share this with you, and today I'll be going over the major portions of this patch. This video is going to be divided into 4 sections, and that's going to be ongoing events, the Wild Hunter revamp, the Goddess's Blessing, and then the Saitama events. I'll spend a little bit more time on the Saitama events because that actually has multiple sections on its own. Let's get right on into it. Up first is going to be the ongoing events, and I won't spend a lot of time here since a lot of these events have been going on for a few months now. First up is the Challenger World and all of the events specific to that world. If you haven't tried it out, I highly recommend it for a new character like Ren. There is a plethora of challenges and accelerated growth opportunities there. The Genesis Pass is also still going on, which costs $30 and shortens the time period for getting your Genesis weapon tremendously. I would recommend checking that out if you're a new player and want to get off the ground as quickly as possible. There was also a level 280 dungeon that was added, so your higher level characters can access this by going to Salazar in Arteria. It's 7 stages, has a 1-hour time limit, and provides 2 Urda and 70 Urda fragments in the heroic worlds. And then finally, I did want to mention that this patch also includes a bunch of skill changes, most related to activation delay being shortened. Since this includes basically every single class, I'm not going to read them all here, but feel free to check out the link in the description that will take you to the patch notes. Once you're there, you'll hit Ctrl F on your keyboard and search for your class name to read the changes. The second main event here is the Wild Hunter revamp. If you've been through a revamp of another class recently or gone through a class release like Ren, you'll recognize a lot of these events. The new meta for MapleStory is leveling up to 270 or so versus the old 220 plus. And in that vein, Nexon is giving all Wild Hunters a Hyper Burninator that allows you to gain 5 levels per level up all the way to 260. But that's not all. When you use the Burninator, which is only available to Wild Hunters and is not tradable, you can enter Spiegelman's Hat via the quest notifier. This is an extremely accelerated growth path that will introduce you to the main mechanics of the game like Star Force, transferring stats, pets, stuff like that, while also giving loads of experience. If you follow that path, you'll be level 200 in literally 20 minutes. And again, that is still not all, because like all hyper burns, you will also gain access to the Burninator track, which grants rewards at level 200 as well as every 5 or 10 levels. A quick tip here, if your Wild Hunter isn't already like level 240 or higher, or has cosmetics you don't want to deal with putting in the cash shop and transferring, you're going to be way better off creating a new character. The rewards more than make up for the time spent making a new character. Believe it or not, that is still not everything though, as we have the Savage Redo events. You'll be able to claim growth and cosmetic items specific to the Wild Hunter. All you have to do is farm 1,000 enemies each day, and that's it. Completing this check-in will unlock the All Jobs section and also a Wild Hunter reward. Just keep in mind that all Wild Hunter characters level 259 and under can complete the daily check-ins. So if you want everything, you'll have to try to refrain from getting to 260 too fast, which yes, I realize I just told you not to level up as fast, and that is weird. I agree, that's weird. But look, that's actually what the patch notes say right here. The top line can be claimed by Wild Hunters 260 and above, but the bottom line can be claimed by anyone. Finally, I did want to mention that if you decide to not create a new Wild Hunter, you actually get access to a bit of a secret perk since it's not mentioned in the quest notifier. If you click on Quick Move, then the Maple Administrator, you'll get Jaguar coupons to where you can choose the color of the Jaguar that your Wild Hunter rides, which is a nice little nod to the system of capturing Jaguars that Wild Hunters could use in the past. Section 3 is going to be the Goddess's Blessing, and the reason I placed it here is because this will only be accessible to newly created characters after March 18th. So this means that if you're like me and you're creating a new Wild Hunter, this will be a nice little bonus growth window that will help you get to 260 and beyond even faster. So what is the pass? Well, it's similar to a battle pass in other games, so think like Destiny 2, Marathon, Apex Legends, stuff like that, where you have a basic pass where you just get rewards like cosmetic stuff. In this case, you get the Rudibus set, Node Stones, Experience Vouchers, Experience Node Stones, stuff like that. But then there's also a paid tier, However, in this specific pass, there are actually two paid tiers. One is the Fashion Pass on the bottom that contains all cosmetics. Then the Premium Pass, which contains higher tier growth items like advanced experience vouchers, level 10 arcane symbols, stuff like that. When you buy the Premium Pass, you'll also receive access to the Login event, which basically requires hitting a certain amount of hours logged in to receive rewards. The reward highlights for this are things like a flying fish android, familiar reroll cards, and a transcendent growth potion. The Premium Pass also gives hunting rewards like extra experience, drop rate, and reviving in place in case you die. Finally, the Fashion Pass costs $15 and the Premium Pass costs $35. Now, there's one more section here. You might be wondering what these symbols here at the top of the window are, and these are for completing certain areas of the game. For example, the first one is for completing Maple World and is granted once you get to the nameless town after reaching level 200. The second one is for finishing Grandis, but it doesn't explicitly say in the patch notes how to finish Grandis, but the assumption is that it will be by getting to 260, getting your 6th job, stuff like that. And then the third section is for finishing Tynerum, which again doesn't explicitly say how to finish Tynerum. I'll need to do some research on this because in GMS, Tynerum is actually the Masteria region of MapleStory. So think New Leaf City, Crimson Heart Castle, Gallix, stuff like that area. If you're curious, I've got some of the trivia on the screen because it's pretty interesting about how this region fits in with the greater Maple and Korean MapleStory, and it's pretty interesting. This is actually the perfect time for any of you to comment down below if you do figure out what triggers these two sections to give rewards. Alright, if you stuck with me this long, thank you, and let's get right into the main event, the Saitama Event. So this event is contained within its own world called the Seasonal World, and the reason for this is because there are actually a bunch of buffs to training in the Saitama world not available in Heroic. Most notably, the spawn speed and amount of enemies in each room is completely absurd, and each time you use just a normal punch, you'll probably level up. Level 200 should not take you more than like 30 minutes if you just teleport around to enemies that are anywhere between 30 to 40 levels above you. Yes, the normal punch will one-hit them. It's crazy. Also, keep in mind that this is like the interactive world where it has bonus potential and stuff like that. And also, the character will be deleted once the event is over, which is different from what happened when the Demon Slayer collab came out, as that character actually converted to a hero. Now, there is some story here, but I wouldn't worry too much about it because we're here for the events. And the first event is going to be the Monster Park Mayhem. That's kind of the main portion of this event. There's a daily check-in, as well as weekly check-ins that you do by farming 6,000 enemies each week. When you check in after farming 6,000 enemies, you'll receive hero coins that can be used in the Hero Coin Shop. And before I go any further, I want to make a quick addendum here. The 2,000 enemies, or 6,000 per week, cannot be completed on the Saitama job. So even though it is Saitama themed, you'll have to complete this on your regular world characters like, say, your Wild Hunter that you probably are going to be creating. From there, we also have a Meso coin shop if you're interested in these cosmetics. And then after that will be punch coins that you can receive by doing the Centokoro Punch King event. If you're familiar with the different punching bag events, this is the same thing. Beat up Centokoro, get loads of experience, and depending on how far you get, enjoy the different coin rewards. Then a quick mention here is that the completion reward for doing the daily monster capture 15 times is a home item. The second main event is called the Heroes Adventure Journal. This is divided into 3 sections: exploration, activity, and boss mission. These are completed by Saitama only and give a multitude of rewards. As the name suggests, you'll just have to go to places for the exploration missions. Activity missions require farming a certain amount of enemies with certain skills, and then boss missions require doing bosses with Saitama. The rewards are grouped into 2 sections, and the special rewards are only for Saitama, but the regular world can be completed by your normal world characters, not by Saitama. There are tons of great One Punch Man themed items here, so go hog wild, and if you want to see any details on how all the specific cosmetics look, feel free to visit the patch notes link in the description. Somewhat hidden in the menu here, I don't want to forget this, is the Slime Coin Shop, which will actually allow you to purchase essentials for upgrading Saitama. Finally, the virtual combat system. So I'll admit this system does take some getting used to. It's sort of like a punching bag, but the punching bag fights back. If you're familiar with the anime, this is the Deep Sea King, and it is a little difficult. But the gist of it is that you take control of Genos, you fight the Deep Sea King, perform challenges, and then receive rewards. You can also upgrade Genos by completing certain challenges, and when you do a certain amount of challenges, you can receive a medal. Don't forget to claim rewards on the character you want it to be on, since the virtual combat system is available on both worlds. And then I also wanted to mention the rewards are again split into the regular rewards and special rewards. Okay, if you stay with me so far, I've got a little bonus section. This would actually be how I would interact with the event to complete everything without spending like an extra 2 hours a day grinding. So this is the optimal route for completing things on a daily basis. So assuming this is after reset and everything is available, this is the order that I would do. 1, I would log into my Wild Hunter, kill 1,000 enemies, and technically you could do 2k or 6 to 8k for the Monster Park Mayhem, but we're optimizing for daily time here. So I would check in on the Savagery Do, complete the Centaur Punch King on whichever character that I want to do it on and get the experience. I would accept any Goddess Blessing gifts, pop over to Saitama, complete about 1,000 enemies on the Incineration Cannon Activity Challenge, since there's about 30 days in the event and you have to kill 30,000 enemies, and that skill honestly is actually pretty weak. Then I would spend about 10 minutes looking at what I can upgrade for Saitama on his gear, just to make sure I can complete the boss challenges. Then from there, I would log back into the regular world, for me it's heroic, and I would start my professions, and I would have it AFK in the Lux Sauna if I have any time, so that the professions and the Goddess Blessing Pass both complete, of course assuming you bought the Premium Pass. If you didn't buy the Premium Pass, you don't have to worry about that. And that is all I have for you today. If this helped you in any way, please consider a like and subscribe for the algorithm, and it lets me know you want more of this. Peace.